Hello children, welcome to your science class. So by the time everybody comes, let me quickly revise what we have done previously. We have started with the definition of tissue. We have seen that they are classified into two main types, plant tissue and animal tissue. Plant tissue, again they are classified into two types, meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Meristematic tissues are further classified into three: apical meristem, intercalary meristem, and lateral meristem. Next, permanent tissue is classified into simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. So, simple permanent tissue, we have seen that they are further classified into parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Right? Parenchyma, they are further of two types, erenchyma and chlorenchyma. So the parenchyma tissues which has chlorophyll in it is called as chlorenchyma. And what about erenchyma? The ones who have air sacs present in them, that is air cavities. They are called erenchyma. Then we have finished with the discussion of all these type of simple permanent tissue. Right? So, yesterday we had started with complex permanent tissue. Yesterday we saw the explanation through textbook part. Okay, today we are going to discuss it through the various PPTs. Okay, various slides which I have made. So now let's start with our today's class so that we can discuss each and everything in detail. Okay, so here you can see, just now I told you one classification table. Okay, this is what you can see in front of you, that plant tissue is basically classified into meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Further, you can see how I have done the flow chart for the same, tree diagram for the same. So you need to understand that if you have this tree diagram in front of you, it will be easy for you to identify it and put them into specific groups. Okay, children? This table is very, very important. In permanent tissue, you can see simple and complex, right? In complex, you can see xylem and phloem. Discussion of this xylem and phloem we had started yesterday. Yes, children? So now, I want each and every one of you to concentrate and pay attention to each and everything which we are discussing today. Okay, because this is the very important part of the lesson. And today there will be no excuse. You all have to write the difference. Okay. So once we finish with our discussion, we can do it. So which two main tissues we are going to study today? Xylem and phloem. Okay. So what are these complex permanent tissues? Yesterday we had discussed the difference between simple permanent and complex permanent. Complex permanent tissue is composed of different types of cell. Okay, whereas simple permanent tissue, it is composed of only one type of cell. Right? So, complex permanent tissues are of two types, xylem and phloem. Correct? Complex permanent tissues are of two types, xylem and phloem. And this xylem and phloem, they together make vascular bundle. Okay? Now, do you all know the meaning of vascular bundle? Everyone? Yes? What is vascular bundle? Vascular bundles are nothing where where xylem and phloem come together and act as a conducting tissue. Okay? Did you understand the meaning of vascular bundle? These are the strands of conducting vessels. Okay? So the first one we are going to talk about is xylem. Okay, so first one we are going to see is xylem. So xylem is composed of four main types. Can you see it, everyone? First one is tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma, and xylem fibers. Okay, I repeat. Xylem is composed of four main types: tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma, and xylem fiber. So now, what each one of them is going to do, we are going to discuss it in detail. Okay. For example, first one, xylem. It takes part in conduction of water and mineral salts. So main function of xylem, you can see that it does the part of conduction of water. Okay. See children, the way we used to write the points on the board, I have written all the points in the slide. Okay, it is given in short so that you can understand it easily and frame the sentence. Okay, so I have written just the main points and we are going to elaborate it and write in our answers. So first thing is xylem takes part in conduction of water and mineral. Second, it provides mechanical strength. See, this point will be common for both xylem and phloem because both of them are conducting tissues and both of them need to provide mechanical strength to the plant. Now, xylem is also called wood. Okay, so xylem, it is also called as wood. It is made up of four elements: tracheids, vessels, xylem fibers, and xylem parenchyma. Okay, so now we will see what are these tracheids. Each one of them we will see one by one. Okay, so first one, if you can see here, tracheids, these are long tubular dead cells. Okay, we all know the concept of living cells and dead cells, and we all also know that if the cells are dead, they secrete the substance which is very strong cement like and which makes the cell very strong. Okay, so the tracheids are long tubular dead cells with lignified walls and tapering ends. Lignified is broad. Okay, and tapering ends. What do you mean by tapering? Tapering is pointing ends. Now, next, they possess various types of thickening of mechanical strength. Various types of thickening. Just now I told you that if the cells are dead, the ends become more and more thick. Right? Okay. Unthickened areas help in movement of water from one tracheate to another. So the thickened part is going to give mechanical strength. And what about the unthickened area? This unthickened area is going to help in movement of water from one tracheate to another. In plants, there are many tracheids connected to each other, right? So this unthickened part, they are going to transfer the water from one part to another. Understanding trachea? Yes, children? Any doubt in trachea part? Yes, children, I'm here to just check if you have any doubt. If you have any doubt, children, please let me know. Good. So today you are giving me correct answers. Yes, xylem consists of 4 elements and try to remember it when we are discussing itself. Okay. Tracheids, parenchyma, fiber. Okay. So I hope there is no problem. We can continue. Now next, xylem vessels. Okay. Now what they have told about xylem vessels, here you can see again I have written the points. They are long tubules. That means they are long tube-like structures. Okay. Can you see it in the picture, everyone? Can you see the picture of vessels? How they are long tubular structure? Walls are rigid. Walls are lignified. Lignified means rigid. Okay, they are very strong and they make the walls very, very strong. Who makes the wall very, very strong? Vessels. Okay, next see, they occur in flowering plant. Okay, so where are these vessels present? They occur mostly in flowering plant. They are more efficient than tracheids. Okay, now see here you can see that tracheids are also long tubular structures. These are also long tubular structures, but vessels are little bit big, or you can say more elongated than the tracheids. So it is said that they are more efficient than tracheids. Okay, they are formed by end-to-end union of large number of dead cells. So here also, in case of vessels also, the cells are dead. In case of tracheids also we found that the cells were dead. Okay. Vessels and tracheids are conducting elements of xylem. They conduct water and minerals vertically. So you can say that tracheids and vessels are both friends. Okay, tracheids is also doing the job of conduction of elements such as water and mineral, and vessels are also doing the same thing. The only difference is that vessels are little bit more long or elongated than the tracheids. But function of both of them is to conduct water and minerals vertically. Okay. Now this is with the first two types of xylem. What you can talk about fiber? If the main function of conduction of water and mineral is done by tracheids and vessels, then what these fibers are doing? So sclerenchyma fibers are found in xylem. So what is this function of parenchyma? First of all, fibers, what they are going to do? They are going to give support to the tapering ends. Okay, they will have thick pitted walls, narrow lumen at the tapering ends. Due to this, of course, we all know, yesterday I had told you that fibers will provide the support and strength to the plant. Okay, so xylem fibers are going to provide strength to the plant. Where mostly you can see that it is mostly provided at the tapering ends. Tapering ends can be your roots, okay, in case of xylem. Now what is the function or what is this xylem parenchyma? So we all are aware with the word parenchyma. Am I right? We all know parenchyma is equal to store food. Okay, we always remember it in this way because we have studied it. So here what they have told, they consist of living cells. First and important thing is it consists of living cells, whereas xylem vessel and tracheids, they contain dead cells. Now where they are present? They are present inside the xylem. Okay, so this parenchyma is present inside xylem. What is its main function? It stores food. We all know this, right? We have already studied this. And what they have told next? It helps in lateral conduction. What do you mean by lateral conduction? Yes. Lateral conduction means transfer technique. It is transfer technique where the substances are transferred from one place to another. Okay, so it stores the food and it supplies this food whenever necessary to the plant. Okay, understanding xylem parenchyma, everyone? The last part is function of xylem. So overall function of xylem, if you see, it conducts water and minerals from roots to the top of the plant. Movement is unidirectional. Unidirectional means only in one direction, from roots to the upper part of the plant. Okay. It provides mechanical strength because of the occurrence of thick wall components. So of course, as we have discussed, the main function will be always to provide mechanical strength. Okay children, everybody is clear with the xylem part? Vessels are more big and long than tracheids. Okay, yes. So children, now I want to know, do you have any doubt in xylem part? As per my observation today, I feel that you all are getting the concepts clear. Okay, children? So if you have anything, you can post. After few minutes, I can come back and check. Good. So let's move to the next type that we have to discuss today, that is phloem. Right? So now phloem is composed of four main types: sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem fiber, and phloem parenchyma. Okay, this is already given in the first chart which I showed you. So you can learn it from there also. But it is very necessary to remember it. Okay, what are the four types? Sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem fiber, and phloem parenchyma. Okay. So, function. Sieve tubes are tubular cells with perforated walls. Okay, overall function I am mentioned here. Then we will move to one by one discussion. Okay, so sieve tubes are tubular cells with perforated walls. We all know the meaning of perforated, having pores on its structure. Sieve tubes are the conducting elements of phloem. So conducting elements means the ones who are going to conduct or who is going to transfer the things. So phloem is responsible for translocation of food in plants. So children, what do you mean by translocation? Anybody knows the meaning of translocation? It is nothing but movement of material from one place to another. Okay, that means translocate. The transport of food in phloem is a two-way movement. So it is two-way movement, we all know, from leaves to the lower part and from roots to the upper part. Now see. So sieve tubes are elongated, living, tubular conducting channels. They are connected end to end. If you can see here children, arrow towards the arrow, you will find that these are connected with one another. Yes, adjacent sieve tubes, you can see here. If they are connected in this way, what is going to happen, children? It will become easy for them to transfer the things. Okay, see your companion cell, sieve tube, sieve element, it is all labeled. Okay, so they have vacuolated cytoplasm. What do you mean by vacuolated cytoplasm? Vacuoles, we already know it. Cytoplasm, we also know it. So it is a space where cytoplasm can be stored. Okay, children, see, if you understand and if you know the small scientific terms, you can easily understand the concepts. Okay, which we have studied previously. Nucleus degenerates. So in case of sieve tubes, you will find that the nucleus, even if it vanishes, it regenerates again. Okay. Cytoplasmic strands are continuous between adjacent sieve tubes. So here you will find that strands. Strands mean small structures which are present. So in between these adjacent sieve tubes, you will find that the cytoplasmic strands are always present. Okay. Now see what they are telling us about companion cell. I hope sieve tube is clear to you all. Yes, sieve tube is long tubular conducting channel of phloem. Okay. Now what these companion cells will do? They are thin walled, small and elongated. So along with this sieve tube, even companion cell will do the function of transporting, but they are thin and they are small. They have dense cytoplasm. Dense cytoplasm is seen in companion cells. Nucleus controls the sieve tubes and keep them living. So who is the one who is controlling this? It is nothing but nucleus. Okay, here also you will find that nucleus degenerates. That means nucleus plays a very important role in conducting of these material. Okay, these two parts are clear, sieve tubes and companion cells. So that we can move to the next and easiest one, that is parenchyma again. So phloem parenchyma is thin walled and living, and function we all know, we don't need to learn it again and again. Function is storage and lateral conduction of food. Okay, of course it is going to store, the main function of parenchyma is to store, and slow lateral conduction of food. So slowly it can conduct the food from both the ends. Okay, children. Next we can see what is phloem fiber. So phloem fibers, only non-living component of phloem. This is the only one non-living component of the phloem. Okay, how are they? They are thick walled, they are elongated and spindle shape. Okay, spindle shape, can you see here? This is spindle shape, or this is elongated one. Okay, these are dead cells. Of course non-living is dead, so they are made up of dead cells which possess narrow lumen. Okay, so which possess narrow lumen. What do you mean by lumen? If you remember, narrow lumen, okay, so this narrow lumen is nothing but a small space that is present inside the structure, okay, which is tapering and which is pointed. Next, it provides mechanical strength to the tissues. Of course, again I'll repeat that whenever fiber comes, you should keep in mind that it is going to provide mechanical strength to the tissue. Okay. Okay, so now I am not going to show you my last slide, that is difference between xylem and phloem. Okay, what I want you to do today is, okay children, okay, see now what I want you all to do is, children, see I have made last slide also, if you can see here, that is difference between xylem and phloem. But children, I don't want to discuss with you. I want you all to first find out the difference between xylem tissue and phloem tissue, and then you can we can discuss it in our next class. Is it okay? Yes, of course. I will send the PPT on Google Classroom. Don't worry. Okay, children, is it okay? Or you all want me to show you the difference between? But if I show, then there will be nothing left. I want you all to find out the difference between points. Yes, children? I have got around 8. So let me see if you get 8 or more than 8 points. Okay, so what we will do is, today you will read the concept again. You can see the video again. PPT will be sent so that you can go through the PPT again and then write the difference between points. Okay, and tomorrow I want you all to sit with the book in front of the in for this lecture, so that we can discuss the points together. You can just check if your and my points are same. Okay, children? So I hope xylem and phloem is clear to you now. It's very easy and simple concept. So today's task for you all is, how many points? Let me see how many points you can get. I have got 8 points. Let me see if you get 8, less than 8, or more than 8. Okay, so in this way what we can do is, you can share your points, I can share my points, and we can check. Okay, so xylem and phloem is clear with everyone. You will read it today and write it in neat, clean handwriting. And tomorrow we will, in our next class, we will discuss the difference between points. Okay, children? So read whatever is discussed today, and you can see the video again and write the difference between points. So we'll stop here for today and we'll continue in our next class. Thank you, everyone.